Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. It's Friday, the 5th of September 2025. It's a really gorgeous morning. Let's have a little cleanse of the space. And your space. Thank you. Let's see what Spirit wants to say today. I put all my cards in proper order last night. I just wanted to make sure they were all there. There was a couple that I hadn't seen for a while. So it's nice to have like everything in order. I hope everything is in order for you as well. I feel called to read for Scorpio today. So good morning, Scorpio. How are you? I hope you're well. We're just going to do a quick little card pull, see if there's any messages trying to come through for you this morning, Scorpio. Guides, guardians, angels and ancestors. What messages do we have for Scorpio this morning, please? And thank you. We've got our lovely bin men out this morning, so I'm sorry if you can hear a little bit of rumbling in the background. Everyone bringing their bins in. That won't take long. Okay, first card we have 10 of Pentacles. Gorgeous. So that's telling me you're in quite a solid, stable place in your material life at the moment, Scorpio. You've kind of mastered your craft, yeah? And you're leaving something for everybody to remember you by. The 10 of Pentacles speaks of legacy, generational wealth, you know, creating something out there that lasts beyond your lifetime. Maybe you've created a business that you're handing down to the next generation. Maybe you're lucky to have like family wealth and you've been able to maintain it in your lifetime so that it lasts for the next generation. Whatever it is there, Scorpio, it is telling me that you're pretty stable, settled and successful in the Pentacles area of your life, in your material life, your abundance, your success and your ability basically to look after yourself in the physical. You are being crossed with that at the moment with the 7 of Swords. Now, the 7 of Swords, it can speak of a number of different things, but it's generally tension, and it's also about a kind of like a lack of clarity. This could be you, this could be other people. Generally, the meaning that I take from it is that you're in a situation at the moment where you kind of have to keep your cards close to your chest for a little while. And it's not that you're deliberately being sneaky or secretive. It's more so that you kind of have to. It's like you're on a bit of a mission and you kind of have to keep a certain stage under wraps, yeah? And it is with the full intent of being absolutely clear with everybody when your time is right. You see, he's moving in the darkness. He's cloaked. So there's obviously your first picture there is the absolute opposite. You know, your family are with you. They know what you're doing. They can see the fruits of your labor. But there's something else at the moment that's kind of blocking that and maybe causing a bit of tension, where you're trying to create something off your own back and you're just keeping it to yourself for the minute. So I can imagine that must be hard, actually. It must be very, very hard to keep something quiet when you're usually not like that, Scorpio. You usually are open with your family, your partner, you know, you're fully on a level with each other. And generally, it's very, very easy for you to communicate whatever is going on in your heart, in your head, in your life, even in your soul. There's an element of spiritual guidance with the Seven of Swords, which is kind of that, like, your instinct has told you, you know, just get this bit out the way and then you can tell everybody what's been going on. Which can be quite a powerful thing. And it comes with so much kind of inner angst as well, because if you usually are open, as this card would suggest, then this is a very kind of alien state of mind for you to be in, but it is necessary. Okay, some things we must complete in the dark, some things we must complete by ourselves. Sometimes when we're trying to get passions off the ground, trying to bring our dreams into reality, the simple fact of telling somebody else can just shift that whole process of creation. So sometimes the Seven of Swords is an understanding of that. You know, you're not really doing anything wrong. You're just keeping something to yourself while you get through this stage. Okay, what's overarching that at the moment? You have the World card. The World card is a very deep card. We're looking at the level of soul, and it's like you've completed a stage now. You've completed a stage of your soul's journey. Okay, so yeah, it's possible because you're understanding this situation on a much deeper level. This is how it's projecting in the 3D for you, which is that, yes, outwardly life's amazing, and you've completed that stage of material success. Whatever's going on in your mind at the moment, you're figuring a lot out, Scorpio. You're figuring a lot out, and I think you're realizing that you are kind of leveling up at the moment. You have completed a cycle of the soul's journey. You've mastered the elements while you've done that. You've mastered the duality within yourself. And if you see here, the snake, it's kind of swallowing itself as it cycles round. The end of one cycle heralds the beginning of a new one. So as you've kind of closed up the gap here, completing the cycle, what you're also doing is birthing the egg of a new cycle of your life. So I really hope that's something you're looking forward to. And it's not just coming to your thoughts of, oh God, I don't know what's going on. It feels like things are ending. Maybe I need to not be clear with people about what is happening. But it's on a deeper level, Scorpio. You've kind of reached the end of your stage. If you think of it like a computer game, you know, you have reached the end of the level. It's time to acknowledge that. Acknowledge everything you've learned. Acknowledge all the skills you've mastered. Acknowledge the balance and harmony within yourself as an individual, and acknowledge the fact that you're going to be facing some new landscapes now in the next few years. I do feel that you're fully honest and transparent, Scorpio, and I'm sure you can appreciate this is a stage, okay? This is just a stage in you figuring things out and figuring out who you are. You are going to be straight back to this very soon. And I feel quite sure saying that because at the root of all of this, Scorpio, is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, again, we have these images of abundance, success, longevity, luxury. The Queen of Pentacles, also the feminine within the earth element, is very, it's sensuous. That word often escapes me. She's very sensuous, and not in the sense of sexy. I'm sure you are very sexy, Scorpio, but it's more in the sense of like inner well-being, like knowing what your body suits, yeah? Knowing what makes you look good, knowing what smells suit you. I think I said this to someone yesterday. Maybe you're into a bit of Ayurveda in a sense of, you know, the food, the eating conditions that we can have. You know, you're suited to dry, sour, salty, sweet, hot, cold, all those things. The Queen of Pentacles very much knows exactly who she is. She knows how to manifest. She knows how to kind of land on her feet after any situation. She can land on her feet. She can make the grass grow again. She can bring out the sun, and she can get things moving. She is very stable, very knowledgeable. There's humility there as well, but there is full kind of knowledge of oneself. And I feel like maybe you leveling up within yourself has generated these other changes here. It's brought you to the ending of a cycle. Maybe it's time for you to go and be a queen or king of another suit, Scorpio. I'm guessing you've already mastered your water element because it's not here, and you've moved on to Pentacles. So you've mastered the earth, you've mastered the cups. What have we got left? We've got fire and swords. Well, you're obviously on a journey with your swords. Your fire isn't here except for in the world, but that would make me think that you're kind of firing on all cylinders at the moment, Scorpio, and I think that's really wonderful for you. I'm not doing the full spread at the minute, the full Celtic cross. Something is just telling me kind of not to. I'll do it in the personals because it does give a full picture of everything that's going on. I mean, I really welcome your comments if there's anything you want to suggest or add, or maybe you feel like something's missing. I just want to clarify this world because for it being a covering card, which means it's kind of overarching you at the moment, this experience, it's also an extremely deep card at the level of your soul, like I said. So it is like, I mean, it's possible you've got all sorts of feelings and sensations and thoughts going on. But do understand that you as an individual on your journey of the soul, you have completed a cycle, or you are completing a cycle. It's possible you haven't finished completing it yet because it needs your conscious participation to acknowledge that this cycle is closing, yeah? And also to acknowledge, face, and welcome a new cycle that's coming in for you. And this is another cycle of the journey of the soul. So this is going a bit higher, going a bit deeper. Maybe you're exploring the higher dimensions, Scorpio. You are a very gifted and spiritual person. But as with any of the zodiacs, you know, we're all conditioned to not explore the deeper sides of life and the more spiritual aspects of our existence. So it's hard, you know, it's hard to kind of go through all the murkiness yourself when there's no great structure out there kind of explaining it to us. Two of Wands. So you're going to be embarking on a new passion project, Scorpio. Something within you is like, you've maybe had these kind of a pot of creativity stirring, and it's like you've kind of chosen a direction for this creative juice of yours to be poured. So the Two of Wands speaks of finding something out there in the manifest, which matches maybe the energetic signature of your creativity. So you will be shown which way to go if you haven't already had an instinct. What have we got here? Oh, the King. Oh no, sorry, the Four. And Seven of Cups. Okay. So maybe you've had to learn, Scorpio. Excuse me. The Four of Cups can speak of, the Four of Pentacles can speak of stability, but also stagnation because we like things to stay as they are. Part of the Queen of Pentacles journey and reaching that level is understanding that money has its own energy. It has its own flow, and sometimes we do need to let it move. You know, maybe you were saving up for something and you found it difficult to dip into those savings if you really needed them, or maybe you just had your eye on like one financial goal when other things in your life started coming in to question that and play with that. but I feel you have learned that now. That might have been a tough lesson for you, Scorpio, but we have to let money flow. When life calls upon us to be generous, we have to recognize that somebody needs me right now. And often it's a test from the universe to see if you can be generous. It's the same when maybe you win something, maybe it doesn't sit right with you. You know, God, I've not done anything to earn this. Do I actually deserve it? And the Seven of Cups, so that tells me that you've had some relationships in the past that maybe weren't quite grounded in reality. And that's another lesson on your way to being the Queen of Pentacles, is to understand that, oh my God, you know, to lay back and fantasize about someone and true love and all of the ideals being met is amazing, isn't it? But the reality of being in a relationship with someone, the reality of what happens when you share your heart, when you pour your cup of love into somebody else's, when you see somebody else's cup of love looking amazing, but actually maybe it doesn't contain what you thought. So the Seven of Cups often speaks of, you know, we build castles in the sky, don't we? We meet someone and we get these stirrings of, oh my God, this could be the one. And sometimes that's it, you know, in your mind, you've married that person. Very early on, you've married that person, you've built up these massive structures in the heights of your mind, when actually they maybe aren't reality. So I wonder if you've suffered losses here, Scorpio, but you've definitely learned your lessons, my friend, because you have reached the status of Queen of Pentacles. So you've mastered the earthly elements, how to survive, how to get through each day, how to stay grounded. And that has obviously rippled into your relationships for it to be bringing in the Seven of Cups here. Anything else that we can tell Scorpio, please, today? Thank you. Not easy lessons here, Scorpio, but do you know what? You've got some major, beautiful elements coming through there. I can see there's a lot of sunshine in your life. There's a lot of calm. There is a lot of productivity. Seven of Swords again. So you got the Seven of Swords twice. Okay. I don't like to say that this is just, it's arguments, it's conflict. It doesn't have to be. It really is an internal experience of discretion, okay? And sometimes it's discretion with the greater good in mind. So it's like, right, I've got a bit of an issue. Maybe I've got a bit of debt, or I've got someone doing my head in. I'm just going to take care of that, and then I'll kind of be back. I'll be back in the family fold, and I'll tell the partner like exactly what's been going on, exactly what I've been up to. Some people do like to think of this as lying, stealing, that, you know, there's a dark character around you, there's somebody you can't trust. But personally, for a lot of my readings, I don't really like to bring loads of people in, and I don't understand star signs. Hats off to anybody who does, as in, obviously I'm reading for you, Scorpio, but kind of any further than that. I mean, there's some out there, I will name them one day because there are a few that I follow, but they can see, like, for instance, the Ten of Pentacles, they know what two planets and star signs connect to make that meaningful in Zodiac. As I said, hats off to you. My readings is more like deep down inside of you. That's what I'm looking at. If you do pull loads of people in, we'll obviously look at it, but so for me, the Seven of Swords is an inner experience. It's of kind of struggling a bit to get through this stage, but also understanding that either people aren't going to understand you, they maybe aren't going to help in the way that you want. You know, maybe someone's advice is a bit off. They've got no experience in this matter. So, but it's also understanding as well that about venting, you know, sometimes we do take the people around us for granted, or people take us for granted, and you know, they just come at us and start venting without any thought of how the other person is doing. And it's about having an awareness of that as well, of like, look, I can get through this myself. I am an independent person. I do have independent thought, independent discernment, independent abilities to make a decision. And it's kind of all that, really, just helping you to have an understanding that you just need to push through this stage 7 and accept also that you have a bit of spiritual guidance there, Scorpio. Okay, you're not fully alone in this, but you do need to push through this next stage with some discretion, with thinking for yourself, not allowing any outside influences in, and with the full knowledge and intention of full transparency when you're ready and when the time is right. Okay, so you're not deliberately being sneaky, you're not deliberately lying to anyone. Okay. Okay. Do we have one little message for Scorpio, please? These are pulling at me today. I pulled one for myself the other day, and it was literally the most beautiful message and heartwarming, and brought a tear to my eye. So I'm sorry you're not going to see that one because it's in my bag. I've been carrying it around with me ever since. Messages of life. Thank you. Do we have a message for Scorpio? Okay. Can you see that? It says, welcoming happiness. Divine love is manifesting in me, through me, and around me. It attracts all that I need for the benefit of my soul. As I work to increase my inner light, I evolve into an emanation of love and joy. Today, I reap and welcome the happiness and beauty of all that I have sown. So one thing I just want to point out to you on there, Scorpio, is that this divine love is possibly coming at you from the earth. Okay, I feel, even though you're a water sign, you may feel peace and joy from water. Maybe you bring in Archangel Fuel when you're with water. Bring in the aquamarine ray. That is very, very soothing and very uplifting as well. But you also are connecting to earth energies. So maybe grounding for you would be really helpful. If you see, the Queen does actually have her feet in the ground. Just 5-10 minutes of barefoot on the ground, and you should start to feel just that little bit of calm. If you want to take that further and consciously connect to the earth, do so. You can imagine there's energetic roots coming out from the bottom of your feet, and they reach down and down and down right the way to the center of the earth, and they draw on the energy that's there, which can then come back up through your roots and cleanse your whole body, and you can have this energy exchange with the planet. And I feel that's something that might be very, very easy for you to channel because you have mastered your earth element, Scorpio. Okay? So I hope that resonated for you today. If it doesn't, obviously just leave it, and hopefully someone else will have a listen. And I wish you well. Thank you so much, Scorpio. Have a good day.